The term snowflake appropriated by left-wing SJWs. Hey, it's Prince of Queens, and I know I'm not the only one that has noticed how comical it is the way the left-wing SJWs have kind of appropriated the term snowflake as a way to insult right-wing people, libertarian people, or basically anybody that ever notices anything blatantly messed up happening ever. You got pepper sprayed for wanting to see a lecture and wearing a red hat, and you're mad about that? What a snowflake you are! You were told that your white feelings don't matter? Snowflake! You are annoyed because people have blatantly and deliberately misrepresented your views, calling you a white nationalist YouTuber, and have protested the people that invited you to speak at a conference? You're such a snowflake! Kids, you do realize that snowflake wasn't really a term for fragility, don't you? It was a term for people that thought that they were super unique, like a special snowflake, as supposedly all snowflakes are unique scientifically. I think the line came from Fight Club. The fragility thing got mixed up with it, but it was secondary to the initial mockery of people that invented super complicated personal identities, all of whom tended to also be completely emotionally fragile if people didn't bend over to be accommodating to their identity. When we were making fun of SJWs as being snowflakes, it was people that say things like, I am a non-binary Latinx femme that is on the autism spectrum. And by the way, I am offended by everything. Or, I am a body-positive, masculine of center, radical queer decolonization activist. And by the way, I'm offended by everything as well. Or, I am a cisgender, femme, demi-male, pansexual ally to queer and trans folks. And folks is spelled with an X, of course, and by the way, this person, who is really a straight white dude, gets offended by everything on behalf of the people we'd call snowflakes. These people were made fun of as snowflakes, not so much because the literal snowflakes are physically fragile. Rather, it was because, not entirely coincidentally, the people that were so obsessed with also having relentlessly unique identities also happened to be super fragile. We weren't saying, you're a snowflake because you melt easily. We were saying, look at this person that thinks that they are super special and unique, that also thinks that they have the right to order everybody around and gets upset if you don't follow their orders. These people more than commonly demand gender-neutral pronouns. These people demand endless acknowledgement of their supposed lived experiences as an allegedly oppressed individual. And these people even often demand that white people style their hair in ways that they deem appropriate, while they style their hair in wacky ways, because they are either super unique and supposedly oppressed racial minorities, or they are white allies that think that their job as allies is to call out black hairstyle appropriation. And of course, if people don't cater to these people's heaping laundry list of individualized Simon Says-like demands, then they will get bent out of shape and call you all sorts of names and say that you are an evil bigot. Seriously, you can be talking to a cisgender feminine woman that demands to be referred to with they/them pronouns because she swears that she is non-binary while on the internet, and when you refuse to acknowledge her imaginary gender identity, she'll end up telling you to stop murdering transgender women. Because, of course, according to SJW logic, invalidating any supposed transgender identity, even non-binary, is an act of violence. So because transgender women are often murdered, somehow it must be the fault of everybody who is ever rude to anybody that claims to be trans ever, and therefore you can murder transgender women accidentally on the internet by refusing to validate an obviously cisgender woman as gender neutral. And so, when this type of thing happens, and these people tell people that they are murdering transgender women, people say things like, "Calm down, you special snowflake." Not because snowflakes are fragile and melt easily, but because this person was being completely ridiculous when they demanded a gender-neutral pronoun to begin with. However, fourth-wave intersectional feminist social justice warriors are so incredibly moronic and unable to see anything outside of the darkness of their own asses that they simply think that we're calling them snowflakes every time their feelings get hurt. No, you idiots, we're calling you snowflakes because of the reason why you claim your feelings have been hurt. We wouldn't call you a snowflake for being beat up for being transgender, or beat up at all. We wouldn't even call you a snowflake for being upset that a guy called you a blatantly racist expletive on public transportation, because we can all admit that that's a bad thing. We call you snowflakes when you go out of your way to invent ridiculously specified individualism for yourself, then collectivize that individualism into a category that you are supposedly associated with, like all transgenderism being allegedly related to all non-binary identified people, and then go on to get offended on behalf of the entire transgender demographic if somebody disrespects your supposed non-binary identity. I know you can't follow that logic, so I'll make it simpler. You said you were special and unique by way of attaching yourself to as many different minority groups as you possibly could, and then you proceeded to make it your personal mission to get bent out of shape on behalf of anything that might possibly be offensive and related to any of the identities that you tacked yourself onto. You assholes, on the other hand, just call us snowflakes when you act like the assholes that you are and somebody objects to it. And now you say that we're playing victim every time we point out that you are legitimately being an asshole, which more than commonly you are, and everybody can see that. You don't just get to physically assault people for supporting our democratically elected president or organize massive online bullying campaigns due to people inviting a speaker you don't like. At least, certainly not without being told that you are being total jerks. You can't equivocate the reasons that you people get mad to the reasons that anybody would get mad. So don't even try it. That's all I have to say for this video. If this brought you some joy, please consider donating to me on PayPal or Patreon, link in the description.